Hi everybody, I'm Trin Johnson and welcome to Dust in My Eye. Today I am going to be painting another small painting, big. I've been doing a series of small paintings in my shorts section of my channel, and I've been taking them and blowing them up a little bit and doing them a little bit bigger and landscape form instead of portrait. So if you're interested in that, you can watch me do one right now. So I'm going to start with this lovely color. It's a Copic ink and it's Clematis or Clematis. Clematis? I'm never sure how to pronounce that flower. I always called it Clematis. Anyway, I'm going to start with that, and I'm just putting some ink directly onto my brush. And I'm going to try and do some blobs. They will keep getting bigger. You have to remember that with alcohol ink. They'll keep growing and they'll mush together. So I'm going to let them do their thing. And I'm going to just try and be patient and sit back and let them do that. I'm going to add a little bit there, a little bit there. Try and encourage a couple more leaves, petals. I'm going to set this aside and clean my brush. And I'm also working with Tin Holtz's Coral color, and just kind of a pretty orangey red kind of color. And let's see, what can we do for this? Want some littler flowers so that they can contrast with the bigger flowers. And I like to have one down laying on the ground. That's kind of just it, partly because it's what usually happens when I have a bouquet of flowers or a planter. I usually lose some petals. And what it does here is it adds some color down at the bottom of the page. So it's a nice way of getting some color further down here to balance. So I like to do it that way. Now I am using lettuce green this time, which is a Ranger ink color. I am going to use lettuce green for this one, and none of these colors are quite pure, except for maybe the Clematis, because I used that one straight out of the tube. But these ones are poured into a palette, and when you do that, you get a certain bit of pickup from whatever else had been in there. I'm just going to get a little down there. Probably redo that because it's going to be on in a vase or in a planter or in a something like that. So to a certain extent, it's going to get covered up a little bit. And now I'm going to use pitch black for my container. And again, probably not pure because everything's a little mushed now. And I'm going to try and keep that see if I can get a little bit of a curve here. Now, I want that small painting feeling in a bigger painting, which is a little tricky. I'm going to add a little bit of that blue to my pitch black. So it's not so pitch blacky. And just give us a little shadow, little surface for the pot to be sitting on and the flower to be on. And now I am going to take a smaller brush than my bigger brush. And I am just going to take some plain alcohol, just a titch maybe of coral, and just mush it up a little bit. This one's picking up the background a little bit, but that's okay. We'll get a little more coral so I can make it a little more interesting. Now, if you get to a spot where you like it and you're afraid it's going to go too far and get too solid again, you can hit it with a hairdryer and see if you can kind of just stop it in its tracks. And because if it dries, it will stop spreading. The reason it's still spreading and pushing the ink out is because it still has some moisture content in it. And if you stop it, at least it's been my experience that you can, if you hit it with a hairdryer, you can kind of stop it in its tracks. But now see, that's more interesting. Although I kind of not real thrilled about how the one right in front of the vase or pot looks, because I would like my flower to be on top of it and it's looking like it's behind it, kind of. So I'm just going to carve in a little bit more. I like that better. Now it might be kind of nice to have reflections of the flower colors in this dark surface. So I put a little bit of the coral in there. I might put a little bit of the clematis in there too. And I'm just going to do this a little bit. Now you can tell I had a little coral on my brush, but that's not the end of the world. I just want to get them a little more petal, a little less glump. See all the different colors in there now? That's kind of fun. Okay, let's take a little bit of this. Got a little blue down there. That's kind of neat. Okay, so I think we need some leaves. I don't want big leaves, so I'm going to try a little bitty brush and just a little more. It's a little heavy on the one side, so maybe we need a little green over there. Don't want it to be matchy-matchy, but all right, now I'm going to hit it with some relatively clear, a little bit on the green side, spatter. And then I think it would be nice to have a little bit of that blue. I'm going to pour out a little bit. Try and get my brush a little cleaner. It's pretty simple, but it was kind of fun. And the more you do them, the more you can kind of get a feel for them. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a like. And if you want to see more of my videos, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified of future videos, hit the cute little bell. And if you want to buy me a cup of coffee, there's a link for that in the description of the video. And please check out my Etsy shop where I have prints of my artwork along with some originals and my cute little monsters for sale. And until next time, thanks for watching.